Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Inside Steppin family, how y'all doing this evening? Glad to see everybody is alive and well and in the building. All right, so look, y'all, I'm getting myself together here. I apologize. No matter how much you prepare to do these shows, all the stuff you do, and you think you got it all together, then you find out at the last minute you forgot something, and I forgot something very, very simple. So, bear with me for 1 second. Now, there we go. That's better. Okay, so y'all, tonight's show. Wait a minute, hold on. Welcome, Inside Steppin family. Y'all, tonight's show is going to be a doozy. Why? Well, let me say first that before I do anything, let me give my most sincere condolences and my heartfelt energy toward my man Reggie Miles and the loss of his best friend, his wife. Man, I'm sorry. Tried to reach out to you and give you a shout, man, and I understand. You don't worry about answering my call. We'll talk in time when time permits. You have my condolences, brother. And if there's anything that I can do or anybody from my end can do, please let me know. Please keep us in the loop of whatever's necessary. I do believe that the arrangements have been made for that service. I've been a little tied up myself and I hadn't actually looked at them, but I do believe services and arrangements have been made for Reggie Miles' spouse. So with that said, y'all, that kind of makes this whole thing a little bit somber, but the show itself is going to get a little more interesting before this is all said and done, because tonight's guest is going to discuss with us something. And I don't know, y'all. I know y'all remember me having said on previous occasions about different things that go on in the Steppers community, some of which I think sometimes we overlook or we take for granted. But we're going to talk about it tonight because I think it's a very, very important subject. In the meantime, let me give shouts out Patricia Hamilton Davis. I see you. Thank you for checking in. My girl Regina Freeman in the house. Melvin Fuller, my man Melly Mel is in the building. Curtis Bradford, I'm sorry. Man, look, I'm glad to see y'all. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Melvin said he'll see me next week. See, Melvin, I'm already on you, man. I'm already on point. Check this out. So y'all, right off the rip, let me go ahead and put this out there. Y'all bear with me because I got to get my stuff together here. I had it all together, but things happen. Things happen in live and in living color. So next week, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, myself, Kevin Nevels, Pony Mac, Sam Chapman, Daryl Greenwood, the Cat in the Hat, Irie Israel, and Ted Williams, and Josiah Burt, and a host of others we will be in Houston, y'all, for Steppamania. Second annual is going down. Cool like that. Given that event, it's going to be off the chain. We are going to have a good old-fashioned stepping time. Just like back in the day, we're going to do the damn thing. We're going to get it in, y'all. So everybody, if you ain't made arrangements for that one, you need to go ahead and make them, because this is going to be one you're not going to want to miss. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. It's going to be really nice, y'all. We're going to have a good time. If you want to get any further information about the event, just go on Inside Steppin page and check that out. We have that information up, or you can contact my man Mel. He is on this live, Melvin Fuller, or my man William Owens, or Riri Owens. Everybody know Riri, Aurelia. So y'all check them out, man. This event is going to be bananas, and we're going to have a real good time. Following that one, y'all, we're going to be at Jules. We're going to be at Jules and Gents for their 4th annual. It's in Phoenix. We're going to be there April 8th, 9th, and 10th. So y'all get ready for that one. That one's gonna be really nice as well. There's gonna be a host of individuals that we don't get to see often, mainly coming off that West Coast. See, that's something the West Coast is starting to pop, y'all. You better get ready for that. It's gonna be on and cracking. Now, one of the events that we got right here in San Antonio coming up. First of all, let me say that here this weekend coming, get ready for this. My man Josiah Burt is back in the building March 19th and 20th. He's doing his privates on 19th. And on the 20th, we're doing a workshop right down there at Uptown 78, $25. $40 for couple. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. I think it's $25, $40 for couples and $40 for privates. And trust me, they're well worth it. You want to get your dance tight. This is the way, this is the place to be. That's what's happening. Now, on May the 5th, y'all, we're going to be right here in San Antonio, down on Alamo Street, 713 Alamo Street to be exact, at Jokesters, the pub and bar. My man Dominique will be in the building giving Chicago Steppin instructions. He'll be doing a workshop. And your boy right here, my man Tim Jones, y'all know that's Carmichael's producer, my man Tim Jones and yours truly, DJ B, will be in the building. We're going to be spinning them wheels and making the flow jump. You know how we get down. You know how we do it. Let me give these shouts out right quick, man. I appreciate y'all for coming in. Hey, Norma Wilson, Demetri Kelly, Burma Johnson, and Sheila Joyce is in the building. And Sheila, I'm about to reach out to you in 1 second because it is time for you to come forth and be a part of this show. I'm sending you a call right now, young lady, so you just get yourself together. It's coming your way right now. Yeah, y'all get ready for this. This interview is going to be off the chain, y'all. We got... You want to see this interview. Trust me. This is a very important interview. It's very important because we're gonna get some real information from her tonight. All right. Turn your video on for me, Sheila. There you are. All right. Let me get you into the feed. Ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. Let me get that thing. Let me get you set just right here. There you are. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you all to the myth, the legend.
Stop.
Sheila Ely, y'all. Sheila Ely in the building. Sheila,
Stop.
what's up, baby?
Now, Brian, you know I was the last one in this city to learn my basics.
But that's all right, though. Hey, but you
and
learned
I've been
it, though,
dancing
didn't you?
all my life.
Okay, but it's all right because you got it.
Yeah,
And that's what
I end
matters.
up getting it. Yeah.
Now, Sheila, it is. I wanted to have you on this show today, very specifically. But before I say that, let me say this, y'all. I want y'all to understand. Sheila is coming to us from Bible study, by the way. Now, Sheila took time out, and Sheila, I want you to know just how much I appreciate you taking the time out to do this, because I know you got big things, you got things to do. We all do, but I want you to understand that what you're about to convey is very important, and I want my audience in particular to be to pay very close attention to what you are about to tell them.
Amen.
Mainly because that's right. Look. I know you're in Bible study, but dig
Yeah.
this. What you're about to do is give a testimony, and that is what is important here, and that's what I want everybody to understand about what we're about to do here. Now, as I was saying, Sheila, who I have had the pleasure, in fact, when I moved to San Antonio, Sheila was one of the people who welcomed me into the Steppin community. She was very gracious and extremely humble in the way by which she brought me into her, just presented herself and helped me to become acclimated to the people in this area, in this region, because I've been all over the country, and every place you go, you should become acclimated to the people before you start trying to do too much. Unlike
Yes.
some folks, they don't understand that. But anyway, let's be clear. And I want y'all, I'm going to put this out there before we get started real good, y'all. Now, a lot of people know Sheila. Sheila's well known around the country. There's a reason for that, and we're going to get to it. But I want you to understand something. Even if you cannot or will not relate to Sheila's story, I want you to be very, very clear and keep in mind that there may be somebody right in your own circle going through some of what Sheila went through. Might be somebody right up under you. You don't know. Um, and y'all know there have been plenty of times in the past where I've said things about how we should be treating one another and how important it is to treat people with kindness despite some people's individual needs to be
Mhm.
seen, to be heard, exercise
Yes.
their greedy, evil, divisive, and passive aggressive ways. We see lots of that. Uh, but
Oh,
it is we're gonna shine a light on an issue that never has and up to date it hasn't come forward in this community. Now let me say this: on last Thursday, was it Sheila? You were on Stretch Alex show, Swagger and Lace,
yes.
on the Haters
Right.
Corner.
Yes.
That show that Stretch has that comes on Thursday afternoons at 12. So y'all tune in for the Haters Corner. But you
Right.
went on that show and you began to talk about your situation.
I was
With
transparent.
yes, and
I
let me
just put
tell
it out there.
all of you all in my audience this right now. Be thankful because this is not a laughing matter, but I want you to be thankful. We should all be thankful that we have a woman such as Sheila Ile, who is, I'm talking about a woman, who is willing to stand before you and give you her testimony in a way that makes it so that we begin to truly understand just how deep this whole thing runs. Because I don't think a lot of people really understand. You'll hear people say, oh, it's not that serious. Oh, it is.
Mhm.
Believe it or not. It may not be that serious because everybody's circumstances are not the same.
Mhm.
Now, let's put it like this. This show title is basically a title that explains addiction to stepping. Now, a lot of people think that they probably think that's a joke title, like, "Well, what do you mean addicted to stepping? That's not possible." Oh, it's very possible. Okay,
It's
people can
possible.
be addicted to anything. Okay, too
Yes.
much of anything can be a bad thing. Okay, but it becomes a matter of what you're willing to do. Um, Now, I don't know about y'all, but it never occurred to me that somebody could be addicted to this dance. Not like this, but we gonna talk about it right now. Now, keep in mind, y'all, Sheila has been a world's largest participant. She has been around this dance for some time. Put on a pretty good show too. Now, damn right, San Antonio in the building. That's right, God dog it. Look at here. But now, Sheila, your story is like many people who don't live in Chicago. Now, I want to put that caveat out there only because a lot of people from Chicago will never understand your situation, in my
Right.
opinion, because they have the luxury of being able to dance at will on any given night of the week,
And
unlike
don't
many places across the country.
and don't pay a lot of money for it.
Now, Sheila, tell us in your journey through stepping. First, how did you get into stepping? I heard you say you were going through something. You were having
Yeah,
some
I,
troubles in
I
your
I
life.
started out to say that most people get into the Steppin community as a hobby or as a like a crutch.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for something or something traumatic happened in their lives. And so if they're introduced to the Steppin community, that's it. Because with the Steppin community, you got a lot of new people. When I came in, I was going through a divorce
Mm-hmm.
and somebody introduced me to it. And during that time, David
Now
Joyce
hold on
was
right
our.
there. Hold on. The only reason I want you to stop because I want to put a bookmark right there for a reason because I want to show people the parallel.
Mhm.
You just gave us your entry. You just said I got into it because of this, and this. I was going
Mhm.
through something. It almost
Yes.
sounds like when you say I started using drugs one day. It just I got into it because my friend. No, I'm so serious.
Right.
Like we're
You're
laughing
right.
about it, but I want people
The
to understand just how
contrast.
serious this is. Just how
Yes.
parallel these addictions can actually run. Now go ahead, finish.
And then, so I started with the stepping community. I didn't know anybody that was stepping. All of them were new to me. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was a couple of other ones that started when I started too. And
Right.
everybody was kind of going through something different and they was introduced to the stepping community one way or another. And I got into it and I learned the steps. Uh, Even though I've been dancing since I was two, I thought to myself, this is going to be easy. But
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned coming in, it wasn't easy for me because it was structure dance, and it was the
Hmm.
8 count, and you had to do it the way they are teaching you to do it.
You mentioned
But
David Joyce. Was he your first instructor?
yes, David
Okay.
Joyce was
I
my
heard he
first
did a
instructor.
lot of good work in San Antonio.
He did. He David did a lot of good work. Yeah, he was the
Hmm.
first instructor, and he was one of the best. And then I forgot the young lady that was with him. I forgot her name that came in with him, and I think they used to date or whatever. But we had a real nice crowd. You know, it's
Hmm.
like a almost like a middle class type thing. Most
Hmm.
of the people that went to the class with me, most of us, if they weren't making six figures, it was half of that, are
Hmm.
very professional people.
Okay.
I've always worked for the government. And so a lot of us were professionals. Half of our
Hmm.
kids was grown, most of us owned homes and stuff like that. And we were just looking for something to do.
An outlet.
Outlet.
Hmm.
Exactly. So I got involved in it at the time when like I said, I had just gone through a divorce, but I had plenty of money. Trust me. I ended up driving a Porsche during that
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
I was driving a Porsche when I first started. Okay.
Right.
And so I had plenty of money. So the money was not a problem. But what I enjoyed most of all, it was new.
Hmm.
It was a challenge. David made it very interesting, and every week we learned some. And then the people that were there, they were so encouraging, you
Hmm.
know, and it was just peaceful. To start out, it was just peaceful, and so I look forward
So
to
it gave you
going.
an escape from the things you were going through in life.
Yes, yes. And then like I mentioned, it was so peaceful and good, and I looked forward to it. I mean, the day before I looked forward to it. I would get in that mirror, I would practice so that when I come together again, I'll be to learn something more than I learned before.
Right.
So it was really wonderful when it first started. And I saw myself looking forward to a longevity of stepping. Uh,
Okay.
and so of course, as things start progressing, other people start coming in, and then there were people that was a part of the stepping in the community that I didn't know of,
Right.
you know,
So
and
so
I guess they had another stepping at the same time, or they branched off. I didn't come when they first started.
right.
From what I heard, that when they first started with David, it was a whole bunch of people, and something happened, and they branched out,
Okay.
almost like
So
what's going on now.
basically then you got into the dance and I've heard this same story a million times, which I'm going to show throughout this show exactly how easy it is and how people get caught up. So through your journey in stepping, you got started. It helped you to get through some hard times, and
Yes, it
it
did.
gave you joy, and it gave you something to look
It
forward
did.
to.
It
Okay,
did.
so
It
and
was
then moving
beautiful. It
forward.
was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. And so moving forward, I think after the first year, I graduated from Wayland. So
Hmm.
I kind of backed off for a couple of months, trying to do my finals and everything. So I did
Hmm.
graduate from Wayland. This was from 2011 to
Okay.
I graduated in 2013. So that was a 2 year span. Of course, I wasn't going all the time. Even if I wanted to go, I could not. My studies were first.
Right.
So I ended up graduating 2013, and I'm like, yeah. So now I can go full force with the stepping,
You can go to work.
Yeah, I can go to work. And so it started growing a little more. And like I said, there were people that were stepping that I didn't know about when I first started. That was a part of it from the beginning. And I learned about the stories of what happened or whatever. And so then it kind of turned. Um,
Hmm.
David wasn't coming as much. People
Hmm.
started drifting off, and I don't know the story with that, but it's always about money.
Always a story about money. Yep, never
Always
fail.
about money
In
in the
every
step.
community across the whole country, it doesn't matter what city or state you in. It
It
happens
was about
everywhere.
money. And I didn't get into that because that wasn't my lane. I
Hmm.
wasn't a promoter. I wasn't responsible for David coming in the beginning. But
Hmm.
all I knew is that I loved stepping and I needed it. And so a couple of times I did go to Killeen, and I didn't go too far. I didn't go to Dallas until I think when Dallas had the first black and bling,
Hmm.
either the first one or the second one, I was there because Facebook blew up then. And
Right.
that's another thing. Facebook wasn't where it is right now. Oh, it's
Right.
so much more advanced. But I was one of the people that was videotaping the stepping. Because
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I was videotaping so I can practice. And
Right.
then I had friends that were steppers and we was making friends with each other. And so I started the video thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
long time ago.
Right.
And so it kind of evolved into another stage. David stopped coming. We didn't have nobody to step, and of course there
And
was
you
another
weren't y'all
person.
the events weren't here and that kind of thing,
No,
right?
not like it was. I missed that. I think it was Thursday. I missed that Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, well, we can do something. If I can get with some folks and maybe we can either get David to come back or get somebody else to come back. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I end up getting involved in promoting people to come in. I never
Okay.
considered myself as a promoter. I did this for the community and for
Right.
myself. I
Right.
wanted to step.
Hmm.
And so it got to the point where I did start traveling. I did bring a couple of people in. You were at the workshop that I brought Ted to.
Right.
That was the first workshop I tried. And I
Mm-hmm.
had no help from the stepping community. And I also wanted to say, once you get involved with the organization like the stepping community, like I did, and you
Mm-hmm.
get involved with them and you look forward to it,
Right.
if there's a misunderstanding or say you at odds with somebody, it crushes you
Yeah.
because that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is for us to dance or whatever. Well, I had a run-in with somebody,
Hmm.
and I it wasn't like I gave something on the day they gave it, or
Right.
I disrespect her man or his man, his woman. It wasn't that kind of thing. This
Mm-hmm.
was petty stuff. Like,
More like hate.
okay, yeah, like you giving something. Who are you? You ain't been stepping that
Like you
long.
shouldn't be giving anything.
Thank you. It was like
Mm-hmm.
that. But the powers that be wouldn't do it. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? The powers that be, they wouldn't do it. So I felt like I had to do something. I need this. The addiction had already been there.
See, so now it was starting to manifest.
Yes. So I
Mm-hmm.
needed I needed this. So of course, I kind of went on Facebook, found some venues that gave me free advertisements, and I went out there and put an advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
Did it myself. I mean, I was determined, and I had all these people come in that had heard about stepping in different parts of San Antonio. Most of them were from like Stone Oak and
Mm-hmm.
Alamo, what they call Leon Valley. They didn't even stay in our neighborhood.
Right.
They was driving 30, 40 minutes to get to where I
Mm-hmm.
was. And there's not many African Americans here in
Right.
San
I
Antonio.
think we're
So
1% of the population here. Yeah.
right. So that was another boost for me because when they saw my face and saw that I was doing the dance and I had little pictures up and everything, so people start coming out. And you were there. You
Mm-hmm.
see, I had a nice little boost for a
So
first time, second time.
so you started. So the thing was based on, and this is my own observation. So based on the fact that we weren't being able, because I think when I came into the community, things had already kicked off, a lot had already happened, and I just kind of started,
Yes.
getting involved. But so basically, we didn't have enough stuff going on here for you, so you started to move
It
around.
wasn't a no, it wasn't a lot of stuff unless I go to the club.
Okay.
And what I liked about stepping at that time, we didn't do it at a club.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom did we do it at a club.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all club.
Well,
Because
I mean, you
really,
gotta you gotta remember where Steppin came from, so
I,
it's
I,
gonna
I
be that.
understand that, but I'm saying in San Antonio, because we didn't even have many club venues.
Mm-hmm.
And the venues we have, nobody was stepping.
Right. Got you.
So it grew to that point now. It grew, but at first it wasn't in the clubs, and I love that. Now I could
Right.
always go to the clubs. I mean, I used to hang out at Midtown and
Right.
some of the other clubs that we had here.
So you were at the point where the stepping wasn't as accessible to you as it started out. So you
That's
had to
right.
find other ways to get your fix, so to speak.
That's right.
So what
That's
did you
right.
do then?
I invited Ted, and he came in, and then I think after that we got some other stuff started.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to make a long story short with that, it went pretty well. But as always, some of the people
Mm-hmm.
that was with me on that side kind of came over into what I started. And I was humble. I
Well,
wasn't, I
that happens
invited
in
all
all
the
communities.
instructors. I invited everybody in there. I introduced every instructor to
Mm-hmm.
my students at the time. I did. I introduced them, let them know this is an instructor. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
this is an instructor. I was always humble because I wasn't doing it just for me per
Right, you were
se,
doing it for the
for
community.
fame.
Okay,
I was
so
doing it.
I wanna get down to the part, Sheila, where you began to realize things had gotten out of control. Like like when the
Yeah,
spiral
well,
took place. I want to
yeah,
know when you realized that you had kind of stepped maybe too far, and not
yeah.
so
When I
much about just about your situation.
Well, it's really when I started traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I started traveling a little bit, and like I said, when I first started out after the divorce, I had plenty of money. But over the
Mm-hmm.
course of time, I still had the same bills and more bills because now this man ain't paying my rent.
Right.
And see, I didn't calculate that. So, okay, now I'm paying my own bills and everything, and I'm making just enough to pay the bills. But now I'm already into the stepping thing. So, although there were times where we coupled up and everything, but there's a lot of times we did not. And then sometime I wanted to go places where maybe the other ladies didn't want to go, that I
Mm-hmm.
coupled up with, that we would kind of go half and half. So, I end up, if I didn't have the money, it started out one time ponding stuff because I had a whole bunch of big diamond rings after that divorce. My ex-husband took good care of me. I was
Mm-hmm.
well kept. So I started ponding my rings and my diamond earrings and stuff to get money so that I can travel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when I had nothing else to pawn, because I never pawn TVs and radios and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
But the
I got you.
diamonds, yeah, because I get a nice chunk for the diamonds. I pawned one diamond and got $1,800. That's
Hmm.
how much of a diamond that ring was.
Right.
And
Cause they
then
sure don't
I
give much at them pawn shops.
no, no. Then I end up doing a payday loan.
Mm-hmm.
Started a payday loan. I started one, and then I paid that back, of course, and then took a break, and of course, in between with your income tax and your bonus from your job, you always have a
Right.
little money, birthdays, because normally my relatives give me money for my birthday. So in between that, I was getting a little cash. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going to St. Louis, Steppaganza, Black and Bling,
Mm-hmm.
going to Houston, going to Killeen. Then I went to Mississippi one time. Then I went to Arkansas. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've been to some places. I went to
Right.
Vegas, you know. So going to these places, and every time I go somewhere, people know me because they're on my page and they see in my videos, and now they meet
Mm-hmm.
me in person. So I was getting the gratification of this family I'm a part in
The
growing and
stepping
growing.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, the Steppin community. Now I'm seeing people that I would see videos of. Now I'm seeing them close up, and
Mm-hmm.
and the addiction got stronger. I
Hmm.
just needed to be there, and then people knew my name, and then I go in the
Mm-hmm.
place. Hey, Sheila. Oh, that's Sheila. Finally meet you.
And it
So
and it, and it and it basically put you on a high, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still ain't been married since then. So I'm still single. Then I met a young man in the Stepper community, and we tried to date, and
Mm-hmm.
then that was drama.
Yeah,
Woo.
that's I don't even know how people in the stepping community do it. In fact, if I were single, I wouldn't date
You,
anybody in the steppers community. It's too much. There's too much
I would never do it
drama in
again.
it.
I would
Smiling
never do
Happily
it
on
again.
YouTube is saying right now they appreciate your transparency, and this is one of the things. Let me, while we are discussing this, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who just come into the room, let me be clear, and let me explain to you this. Sheila's telling her story, and we don't have anyone, or I've yet to meet anyone in this community who has been as or willing to be as transparent as she is about her situation. And I think this can be a learning experience for all of us, because even though we may not be able to understand it or see what she went through because we can't wrap our mind around it, trust and believe there's someone that you know or somebody in your circle who is going through it almost the same and maybe even worse. Because I personally know for a fact I've been to multiple events and have seen people who were there that didn't even know how they were getting home. I promise you I've seen it. And I'm not talking about just Sheila. I've seen it with my own eyes. So so
Yeah.
Sheila, you started you was
With the
taking payday loans
payday loans
and pawns and
but I would pay them back, of
well no, I
course,
mean
but I didn't.
obviously.
Yeah, I would pay them back. But there was one event that came up, and I needed to
Mhm.
get the ticket in advance. So I had
Mhm.
one, and I had not paid it off quite. So I went and got another one because my
Mm.
credit was so good. I was able to do that.
Mhm.
And then I had credit cards, and then I started maxing my credit cards out with the airline
Mhm.
tickets.
Mhm.
So and then my PayPal. Oh my God. I had so many bills. I'm a government employee and I've been one for a long time. So
Mhm.
when we get in a situation, they have programs for us. If
Okay.
you're in a crunch, you can go to your 401k.
Mhm.
And let me just say before anybody say anything about the 401k, I got 36 years of civil service and I got
Mhm.
stocks in my 401k. So one time I looked in there and I had $230,000 in my 401k.
Mm.
That might not be a lot of money to some people,
Hmm.
but that's enough for me
Shit, that's
right
a
now.
lot of money for me. No play
So
no games.
so what they would do, they would give you a hardship loan.
Mhm.
I'm good for it because of my time in service and the
Right.
amount that I have in there. So I would take a hardship loan. I would pay off all those credit cards and bills that I had
Mhm.
so that I wouldn't be in debt, so that I could start fresh again, so I could start stepping fresh. So I
Mhm.
took out 15, 16, 17
Now,
grand,
now,
paid
right
off
quick.
all.
Well, I want you to finish that, but I also let me add right here. See, this goes back to the conversations that we've actually been having in regard to the cost of some of these events and the climbing cost of some of these events because at one point, you could go to one of these events 50, 60, $75. Now all of a sudden we up with some of these they getting close to
I'm not going to
$200
be
now.
going. I'm not going to
Uh
be going.
right. Oh yeah, well, you know what? There comes a point where all of us have to say, "Wait a minute." You know what I'm saying? It's gotten ridiculous. But
Yeah.
the point still though is that and I just someone on here made the comment they love stepping but they refuse to go broke for a darn dance. Now, while that's easy to say,
I
this
wasn't
is one
going
of
broke
those
though.
situations. But well,
I'm a
we know. Well,
hustler.
right? Yeah, you wasn't going broke. You handled your business. Obviously, you
Yeah.
didn't. You ain't lose nothing. You ain't lose no
Yeah.
house. You ain't.
No,
But the point is that
no
you
car.
saw
No.
and you saw where this was headed, and you were able to clean it up. But
Mm-hmm.
the bottom line again is, and let me repeat this: I have been to events, and I promise you, I have seen people with my own eyes who I know they didn't even know how they were going to get home. They were at the event.
That's bad.
Then you got to think about the clothes. See, that's what I'm saying. Your situation
Yeah, you
sound
got
bad, but at
to.
least you could afford to pay back or whatever,
Oh
or you
yes,
knew how you was coming and going. But I
yes,
literally have seen people at events that didn't know how they was getting home. I have seen it
yes.
with my own, and I ain't talking about just once or twice. I'm talking about multiple times. And the point that
Yeah.
I'm making here is that your story is not unique. It's just that you are the only one who has been willing enough to come on a platform like this and be that transparent. That's the only
Hmm.
difference. So that's real talk. So
Yeah.
people can say whatever they want. They can laugh, they can make jokes, but this is actually a very serious issue.
Well, the high point of this though, going in debt. When I went to Chicago that time,
Mm-hmm. Right.
uh,
We were all there together at the world's
that
largest.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I thank God for you and Poppy
Thank you.
because y'all took care of me, but you didn't know what I was going through. I had
No,
a
sure did
friend.
not. I surely did not.
I had a friend, Tony.
Yes, I
Uh,
remember Tony.
Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Tony let me stay at his place
Mm-hmm.
because I was hoping that I can stay at someone else's place that it came and stayed at my place,
Mm.
but that wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I go to
they did you
Chicago
like
with
people
the
do,
intention
huh?
of saying, you when you came here, you stayed at my place. So,
Right.
we weren't intimate or nothing. I just need a place, you
Right.
know. And it got to that point because I couldn't afford the hotel. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
afford to rent a car. I drove to Chicago in my
Mm-hmm.
car because I had to be there. But the highlight of being there was to end up being on that stage in the
Absolutely.
world's
And
largest.
you did a fantastic job, by the way.
And it didn't matter if I didn't win. You had people on there that was qualified to win, but they didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? They
right.
danced a whole lot better than me and qualified to win, but they
Listen,
didn't win. It could only be one winner.
you got one up on the average stepper. Let's just keep it
I
100.
felt so
Most of the
good.
people who can comment and criticize ain't been on that stage. And
I
they
was
didn't
on
have the
that
nerve
stage.
or the skill to get on that stage.
I worked it too. I mean, I wasn't
Yes, you did.
afraid. Yeah. And so that was the highlight of it. That was the best thing that could have came out of all of this turmoil. But I like to also say that in the Stepping community, we got so much bickering. And
Oh yeah.
when it becomes drama, nobody wants to be a part of it. I took
Hmm.
a break for a year uh when you had that little thing with at Uptown with my homeboy from St. Louis, Steppaganza. I
Hmm.
can't think his
Irie.
name. I'm getting
Irie.
old.
Irie and Stretch and
When you
everybody
had
was still
Irie
there.
that I hadn't been out in a year,
Hmm.
I shut it down. You know why I shut it down?
Hmm.
Because of the confusion. We're too small here to have conflict. And one
Absolutely.
thing people have to understand, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
That's right.
If you don't like it, so be it. We got a
Hmm.
thing in church that we say when we kind of, we kind of have words. I wouldn't say argue, but maybe it's a debate. We
Hmm.
say, okay, let us agree to disagree.
That's right.
But I'm still going to believe in what I believe in, and you can believe in what you believe in.
Absolutely.
What I think that happened in the Stepping community is that we didn't work together. As you saw,
Well, we
I was
attempted to.
humble.
We attempted
Everybody
to work
wasn't
together.
like me.
Well, the thing is this: we attempted to work together, and there are divisive forces, passive aggressive behaviors, greed, among other things that it permeates all communities. It's not just San Antonio. The unfortunate part about San Antonio is that it is a small
We're
community and it
small.
cannot afford those things to take place. However, you have people who just they got to be they have if they're not in control, their heads explode. So,
But
but that's
Brian,
that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
You remember when we started the alliance?
Hmm.
Now you can tell everybody, you and I, Poppy, talked about it before we started line. And I'm not sure if I came up with the name or you came up with the name, but I knew I was like, we need to come up with somewhere all the leaders can come together
Well,
and
look
feel
at it this way.
comfortable.
Look at it this way. All the people who hated each other going in, most of them are pretty good friends now.
So it worked, huh?
Yeah, I suppose it did. But anyway, look. So Sheila, here's the thing, and this is what I'd like for you to do. I would like for you to take this time and speak your piece to anyone else out there that may be
Going through.
going through what you're going through, and words of encouragement, if you will, or any um, thing that you could recommend that they do to kind of get a grip on things. And I know and see, you got a lot of people who will sit here and
Yeah.
armchair quarterback and say, "Oh, that's just crazy. I would never. My priorities." We
You
get
never
that,
know.
but you
You
also
never
have to
know.
remember this one thing: people are going through stuff, and this
Yes, they are.
dance takes that stuff away sometimes, and they will pay what they don't have to get that feeling. Just like a damn drug addict, they will pay to
It's like
get
a
that feeling.
drug. It's
That's
like a
right.
drug. When I'm there, it was like a rush. But what I
Hmm.
would like to leave with those that are watching or those that are listening is if you're gonna do the stepping thing, minimize it. I'm talking about for the ones that don't have the money. Start saving up. Pick one or two a year, and go to all the free dances. Now, a lot of us don't have free dances and free venues, but
Hmm.
somebody's always gonna probably sponsor you. I would suggest save up. If you don't have the money, it ain't worth it. We got videos now. You did a great job in Vegas. I
Thank you.
enjoyed it. Tika did a great job one year. What was that Tika covered?
She
It
just
was
did that thing
wonderful.
out in Virginia. That was really good.
and it
I
was
think she
like
did
I
the
was
Heritage
there.
Ball a couple of years ago. That one
Yeah.
was nice too. Yeah.
Now I couldn't be there, but they were so vivid. And then sometimes they see you in there, they'll speak to you. It's almost like you there.
That's
If a
one of the
real
reasons why I do what I do now. We're covering these events and we're doing lives from the events and making it so that people can at least enjoy if they're sitting at home
yes,
and they couldn't afford it or they didn't have the money, whatever the case was. We want to make it as readily available as possible. So yes,
yes.
that's a
So
good thing.
don't it's not worth taking your money. It's not worth a payday loan because once one day I sat down and I thought about how much I would pay. At one time I was paying $700 every 2 weeks to
Whew,
a payday loan.
goodness.
Now that was a ticket.
Yeah.
Now if I was able to do that, I told myself, you got the money,
Right.
you giving it away because you borrowed it. So of course I got money now. I'm saved now. But I had to sit down, or sometimes we can talk to people. Sometimes you just have to talk to people, if you want to share it, let somebody know. But it's not worth it taking your rent money. It's not worth it going to an event, like you say, and not knowing how you go. Don't depend on people.
Yeah, you can't
People will
depend on. You
turn
sure
on
can't
you
depend on people. They will sure turn on you in the
and,
New
and,
York
and
second.
talk about you.
Ask me
And
how I
they will
know.
talk about you. I'm
Uh-huh.
serious. We talk about you big time. I've had people talk about people to me. I ain't mentioning no name. I'm just saying. And I say, wow, you know, but I had to sit down one day and take a look at it, especially when I saw myself spending $700 every 2 weeks out to a payday loan. That did it. That cut deep. That cut deep.
Yeah, that was a wake
So
up call. That was almost like having an overdose.
oh yeah, I didn't need no stepping then,
I
because
bet you did.
I don't love money, but I like having a little money because then you got a little money, you can do some stuff.
Right,
You can go
right.
to the mall, you can go out and enjoy yourself. Stepping is not the only thing in the world. There's many more things besides
Absolutely.
stepping,
Absolutely true.
and I had
Absolutely
to
true.
realize that. And even when I was stepping, I was doing line dance. So I had a line dance family too. We was going places, doing things. So it wasn't just stepping. I
Okay.
think I was basically trying to stay busy too because I didn't have a companion.
Mm.
And like I said, I had one companion that I met in the stepping community and started dating and for all this work that wasn't good.
Right.
And it wasn't the relationship, it was after the relationship, me seeing him with all these different
Yeah.
women.
Well, that's the problem. That's one of the problems when it comes to dating in the
That
steppers community.
like I
It's
wasn't even
strange.
there. Like I wasn't even
Well,
there,
I mean,
like
according
it
to as
doesn't
far,
matter.
far as he was concerned, you weren't. He moved on. But I mean, this is and there are other issues that come up in these communities,
Yeah.
not just that. And so, because of everything else that is involved, because I mean, there's so many dynamics at play. But I wanted to make sure, Sheila, that we got an opportunity to share your story and your
It ain't
situation
working.
with the
It ain't
rest of the
working.
steppers community. Well, a lot of people would say that to begin with, but
Hmm.
but it's easy to see how you got caught up. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It would be different if it's kind of like people just don't understand some people doing other things, and I don't understand how nobody does that. Well, you wouldn't understand because they didn't walk in your shoes, and they didn't
Right.
have the trials and tribulations and the timing of the things that took place in your life to cause you to go down that rabbit hole. Fortunately, you
Hmm.
were smart enough and had the wherewithal to see where you were and be able to pull yourself back from it. But
I
I'll
would
say
also
again, go ahead.
I would also like to say that while you're stepping, pick the places that you can invest. I think I made good investments. I made a good investment with Ted. I made a good investment with you. In the end, y'all end up helping me somewhere along the line. So when you're stepping, don't just go to go. Pick the venues that's gonna benefit you in the end. If I could say that. I've
The
already
people and
said
the
that
venues.
I'm going to three major venues in 2000, I mean 2022. I'm only going to three major ones.
Hmm.
Now, I don't Houston, I don't consider that. out of town, I can drive there and turn around.
Right.
I went to Dallas the other day, last week. Was the last weekend for my great grandbaby's dedication. Turned around and came back
Hmm.
from Dallas.
Right.
So I'm used to that. So anywhere in Texas is not a problem for
Right.
me. But
So
when I have
what are
to
the
go
3 events you're
outside,
gonna go to?
well, I want to go to Steppaganza, I want to
Hmm.
go to Black and Bling,
Hmm.
and I want to go to Houston.
Well, you got 2 of them covered because you're right here in the state.
Yes,
So the only one you got to really worry about is going
it's
to
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and now
we'll
the
all be
gas
there.
went up and
So
everything. So,
yeah.
but I got relatives there. My sisters, my brothers, my first cousins. As a matter of fact, Nicola knows my sister and my first cousin. She
Hmm.
actually taught them in the class. So um, we know a lot of the same people.
Okay. Very
And
good. Very
so,
good.
and then I thought about even with that, if I can say this to the audience, if you're going to make a trip and you're going to go and you want to go out of town, find out who else is going with you, especially if you're going to do a road trip, because there's a lot of people from Chicago do that. They,
Yeah.
they call
Especially
it
when they go to
road trip.
Steppaganza. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a road trip. They rent a bus or they rent cars, big cars that'll
Hmm.
seat seven, eight, and everybody contributes. And they do it like that. That's a good way to save money and travel at the same
Hmm.
time. That would be good. But
Okay.
I was trying to keep up with you and Poppy. Y'all ballers. I was trying to
Don't
go
try.
here and go there.
I
I
don't know
had the
about all
money.
that.
My pocketbook was like, psst, psst. What you doing?
Hey,
Yeah,
you got it together. You just didn't have it
yeah,
at the very moment. That's all. You
yeah,
got it. You got it. You got it
yeah.
figured out. And that's what's up. Anyway, Sheila, look, I want you to know that I appreciate you. I know there have
Okay.
been uh, dark periods in our community and throughout, these last few years. But I want you to understand that I appreciate you. I personally want to thank you for your contribution to the dance and to the community here in San Antonio. Even though a
You're
lot of people
welcome.
don't understand it, don't want to understand it, or don't know, there's just a lot that people don't know. And at the end of the
Yes.
day, most of us don't take the time to really get to understand the people around us. We go to these events, and a lot of people walk around with their ass up on their shoulders, and it's just, I just feel like, and I've said this, I don't know how many times on this show, learn to treat people better. We should all
Yes.
be learning to treat people better because you just don't know what somebody is going through. You just don't know.
Hmm.
And
You
they're
just don't
right
know.
there with you, and you just don't know. And it doesn't even
Right.
have to be a financial situation. Some people got bipolar. Some people are going
Yes.
through addictions of other kinds. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening,
Yes.
and when we don't understand these things, or we just take for granted that everything is okay, just because they don't let on,
Hmm.
these people are suffering silently, and
Right.
it's not our job. We're not psychiatrists. We're not psychologists. We're not equipped to save anybody. But at least if we know, when we know better, we can do better. We can understand to treat people better,
Exactly.
and
Hmm.
that goes an awfully long way. And that's just something that we should all take into account when we encounter one another across this country, because we will all eventually touch hands somewhere at some time, and we just
Well, I
need to.
tell you, being in that church really helped me. Some of these people better be glad I'm saved, because I'm
Say
definitely
the
from
St. Louis
St.
gonna come out of you.
Louis. I'm definitely from St. Louis,
Don't play no
Project St.
games.
Louis. So a lot of people should thank God that I'm saved.
See, Sheila, I want to thank you, dear. Thank you
Okay.
so much for taking your time
You're
out.
very welcome.
Uh, I'm gonna let you get on back to your studies, and we're gonna
Okay.
close out the show. And
Okay.
you have yourself a great evening. Look for that phone call because we got a
Like
dinner date coming up. Uh,
likewise. Yeah,
you,
I'm
you
looking
know
forward to
you
it.
know you know what we
Anytime
got
I get a
planned.
free meal,
We
ooh,
got you,
I'm
baby.
grateful.
You know how we do. Yeah, we got a little dinner date planned for our little group.
Yes.
We gonna do our thing and get this thing on and
Amen.
cracking. All
All
right.
right. All right
Well,
now,
you have a
Brand.
wonderful
Keep
night,
up the
baby.
great work. Keep
Thank
up
you
the
so
great work.
much. Hey, we just trying
Destined
to
for
make it do what it do.
greatness.
All
Okay.
right. You
All
have a
right.
good night now.
Goodbye.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that right there was Miss Sheila Ely of San Antonio, and she has just given you a testimony that to me should go an awfully long way and speak volumes in terms of just how serious this dance can be to people, just how much it means to people, and just how necessary it is for us to do better about the way we treat one another. Because you just don't know. You just don't know. Um, and being honest, uh, some of the things, when you think about this whole thing in its totality, you really have to. It causes me just a bit of silence. I mean, like, it causes me a little bit of speechlessness because in the grand scheme of it all, it just shows you how much so many of us take for granted. It shows you just how much we just don't think about what's happening because we're caught up in it ourselves. When we go to these events, I mean, being honest, we all go for the same reasons she said she just went. We all go to be a part of the community, to be a part of the culture, to be involved with the people that we meet, the people that we've met, the people that we want to see that we haven't seen in some time when we go to these events. All of that stuff matters. It matters to everybody. My girl Angie Fain said, support the folks that support you. And I agree with her 100%. And when you have people like Sheila who doesn't get the support, and she's not done anything to anyone, um, but it's just, sometimes people are mean. You got some of these women out here, they have that mean girl attitude. They just like to be evil. They can't help it. It's just in their nature. You have people that are doing all sorts of divisive things, and you know, they don't. They cause problems. Smiling Happily said, "Do we need Sheila's Cash App?" She gave a testimony. She absolutely did, and I want you all to take heed to the message because the conversation sounds very much like a person gone through addiction. It sounded very much like a person who's had issues with addiction. They went through some things and they had to figure out, they had to hit rock bottom. Her rock bottom was a payday loan that she was paying $700 every 2 weeks on. That's $1,400 a month. She hit rock bottom. That was her bottom. She's like, wait a minute, that's crazy. If I could pay this, I could have just paid to go to the damn event. But it wasn't that serious because it didn't seem that serious when she did what she did. And it's easy to get caught up. It's just entirely too easy. So here we are. Fact is, this dance helps people through depression, addiction, all sorts of other issues that people are going through. I'll tell you what. I went to an event, last year. I'm gonna just tell y'all like this. I went to Texas when we went to Texas Heat last year. My man Nike's event. That event was off the scale, and y'all look forward to that one. That's one you need to have on your list for upcoming for October, 1st of October. Y'all need to be looking at that. That's a serious event. And let me tell you, we were at that thing. Whatever problems, whatever issues I may have had, I completely forgot about for that whole weekend. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I don't have no big old problems. I ain't no need me lying. I look at the rest of people in the world, and I realize how bad some people's problems really are, and it makes me feel so much better about the little problems that I got. But trust and believe, everybody has something that's on their mind, something that's disturbing, and something that might be keeping them up at night, or just on there, just stuck in somewhere you can't get it out. Everybody's got that, and we all want some relief from it every now and then. That event gave that to me. So I can understand exactly where she's coming from. And if you've never been to a Steppin event that made you feel that way, you ain't been going to the right events. Because there's some out here that make you feel just like that. And you realize, man, I got to be there. I got to be there. I need this. It's like going to the crack house. Not that I know what that is, but I'm just saying. If it's anything like a crackhead explains, like they just got to get that high, it's the same thing. You got to have it, So that's just what it is. Before I go, y'all, let me give a shout out to my hairstylist, ladies and gentlemen, my girl Tina Rice over there at Lifestyles Hair Salon. I'm finna give y'all the address and everything. She's at 5520 Waltham Road, Suite 102 in San Antonio, Texas. Y'all, look at my hair. She hooked me up. This all she does, natural hair. She do it all. Look, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Look at the back. Check it out. Y'all see the heart she put in my head? Her logo for her salon is a heart. It's Lifestyles Hair Studio, y'all. She hooked me up. I like my hair. So just so y'all know. That's Tina Rice, y'all, right here in San Antonio. You need your hair taken care of, ladies. It's local. Y'all need to go see my girl Tina. She got it going on. She hooked me up. Thank you, Tina, baby. I appreciate you. Up and coming entrepreneur extraordinaire. Not just an entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneur extraordinaire. My girl is off the chain. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to conclude this show. I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it clear and show people that sometimes things we don't understand, just how easy it is to get caught up. I think we all have been through something and gotten caught up and didn't realize we was caught up until it was too late. And that happened to my friend Sheila. That happened to our dance colleague, Sheila Ely. But she's recovered. She's a recovering addict. And she know where to go. So that's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of y'all. I look forward to seeing many of you at the upcoming events. Like I said, we got up and coming. We'll be at Steppin right here in Houston. The end of the month. We'll be at Jules and Gents in Phoenix at the beginning of April. Y'all, we got a calendar. We got it on and cracking around here. We're gonna be doing the thing. So y'all stay tuned. We will be broadcasting from these events. So, and because there is so much money involved in these events now, and everybody, like Sheila was saying, is not able to attend because of financial reasons, whatever the case is, we're going to do our best here at Inside Steppin to bring it to you live as we attempt to improve on our setups and make sure that we have coverage for everything, give you good interviews, give you good views of the floor, the DJs, the hosts, and everything that's taking place. So even you can feel like you're there if you can't make it. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a fantastic evening. We will see you tomorrow night on The Black Factor, talking about all things black. I want you to have a great night, y'all. I love you. Thank you. Peace.